Oh, I can cook too. On top of the rest, my seafood's the best in town.
Yes, I can cook too. My fish can't be beat, my sugar Swiss around.
Oh, I'm a gal's ideal of a perfect meal, right down to the demi-tasse.
I'm a pot of joy for a hungry boy, baby. I'm cooking with gas.
Oh, I'm a gumdrop, a sweet lollipop, a brook right out of the brook.
And what's more, baby, I can cook. What's cooking, Parkridge? Oh yeah!
Hello everyone, my name is Trevor, Dublin, and welcome to What's Cooking Parkridge. Today our guest is Trish Calabrese, and we're just here in her lovely home. She's going to show us how to make a great Italian meal, right?
Yes.
Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So Trish, tell us exactly what we're looking at here.
Well, thank you for coming and thank you for having me. I'm super excited to share this recipe with all the amazing people in Parkridge. What I'm making today is sausage and broccoli rabe with orecchiette pasta.
So, orecchiette.
Orecchiette.
Before today, I have to confess, I've never heard of orecchiette. When I go to the supermarket, I'm basically looking for spaghetti and linguine. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Hey.
But this looks amazing. So tell me a little something about that.
It's my family's one of their favorite meals, and they get it when we go out to restaurants. And there's always somebody who is the sausage isn't cooked enough, the broccoli rabe is too mushy, there's not enough spice to this, so they always complain about it. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna make it because I know whatever I make, my family loves. So I tried it, I put it, and it came out amazing, and everybody loves it.
Wow, incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. So I know you're also, before we get into the cooking, you're going to tell us about the business you have here in Parkridge, right? So it's Custom Stone by Frank.
Yes.
Right? And I have to say that I know we're cooking on some of this beautiful custom stone, correct?
Yes, correct.
So tell us a little something about what we're looking at here, because this is gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely gorgeous.
This is actually a quartzite. There's different kinds of stones. There's marble, there's granite, there's quartzite, there's quartz, there's limestone. There's all kinds of different products that you can put on a countertop. This just happened to always be my favorite. So when we built this home here,
Beautiful.
I knew I can finally get what I want, and I absolutely love it. We've been in Parkridge doing business since 1994. And I work with my husband, and yes, we are still married, and we like each other, and we're married 30 years. So
Awesome.
we have a great business together. We have a great married life together. We have an amazing family together, and I'm really honored and proud to live in Parkridge and service my Parkridge people along with the entire community of wherever they're from.
That's awesome. So that's really great. So I noticed that this is, we have the countertop, you also have the table as well, that kind of matches, and then you've got the granite, countertops right around the corner here. So the difference between the two, this is from...
This is quartzite. This is a Brazilian stone. And this here is a granite, and it's I believe it's from Italy, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, right.
I don't always know where they generate from, but I know for sure that this is a Brazilian stone.
Just beautiful, just beautiful. So you mentioned Italy, and I know that your husband was born in Italy.
Yes.
Correct? So where in Italy? Because Italy is amazing. Right?
He was born in Bagnata, which is in Reggio, Calabria. He came to the United States when he was 9 years old.
Wow.
So I had big shoes to fill when I married this Italian guy, right? I mean, shucks, what am I going to do? I have to keep his heart happy and feed him.
That's it. That's
so ever since I was a child, I loved cooking with my mom in the kitchen all the time. My dad was up in the Catskills, and he was always in the kitchen, so I was always in a kitchen, whether it's at home with my mom or up in the Catskills with my dad, as he would be in the kitchen supervising people.
Right.
So cooking was always something important. It brought family together.
Right.
Every Sunday, we have Sunday Fun Day here.
That's so beautiful.
I make a huge pot of sauce and our meatballs.
Wow.
So think about that. I'm marrying into an Italian, right? And they're going to come to my house for dinner. Like, oh gosh, like how do I feed Italian people? I'm not Italian, but I mastered it. I mastered my meatballs.
Yes.
Friends always ask me to make the meatballs. Totally mastered the meatballs. Like even my Italian brother-in-laws love my meatballs.
See, Now you know, that's how you know now you're in the family, right?
Yes,
eating your food and loving it.
Yeah.
That's so great.
And I get joy out of cooking. After working all day, I don't want to have to stop and pick up something in the market to, pre-made. First of all, my family would not eat it. They would look at me and laugh at me. My husband would never eat it because he will not even touch a leftover.
Really? So every day you're cooking something new.
Every day I'm cooking something new.
So how do you how do you decide? Do you happen to sit down on Sundays and just kind of figure out, okay, I'm gonna you pre-plan the menus for the rest of the week, or how are you coming up with all these creative things?
Okay, up until recently, I would kind of just wing it every day and stop at the grocery store every single day. At one point, I was doing meals where the ingredients get delivered to your home and everything was already pre-done, but it was fresh produce and fresh meats and fresh fish and fresh everything. But then I was needing more because there were more people I needed to feed, and in this box only was enough for a family of 4. So every day I would go to the market, and every day I'd buy fresh fish, fresh meat, whatever it is I'm cooking, and I don't think about it until an hour before I'm leaving work. Unless it's a bigger meal, prep meal, then I think about it the night before. If I'm making pasta vazole, which is an Italian bean, I have to soak those in the evening, and then I'll finish it when I get home. So there's some meals that I don't really think about. Like this one is a quick grab on the go. Forgot what I was making for dinner, so I'm going to run in and get some sausage and get some broccoli rabe and get some morchette. Okay. So I do shop daily. Yeah. But as of lately, there's a lot more thoughts and processes going into my head of what I'm making for dinner because we're trying to be a little bit more healthy. Yes. So now this is an unusual meal for a weeknight, starting now, because weekends are it's not a cheat day, it's a treat day, because we're not cheating, we're treating ourselves for being good all week, right? So this is an unusual meal for during the week, but I know it's something everybody loves, so I wanted to share it with everyone. So my husband's gonna be happy he's getting a treat meal tonight. That's what I love about it, it's quick. It's such a joy to be here because I gotta tell you, not everybody enjoys cooking like you do, especially if you're working full time, you've got a large family, right? You've got 3 children, right? And just, very busy. You've got a lot going on. And from what you were saying, you actually take the time after you finish working to go to the store. I mean, you gotta really have that joy. Yeah. So who put that joy in there for you? Cooking? Yes. Definitely my mom. Growing up, she worked full time, so our dinners during the week were not as big and elaborate as a Sunday would be. So on Sundays, she would always make a really nice meal, and she never cooked anything that wasn't from scratch. So even if she were to be we're Polish, if she were to make pierogies, her noodles, the dough would be fresh. And I just got such a joy of just being in the kitchen with her and just, learning what to do. Yes. So it's from my mom that I basically just fell in love with cooking because it made us together. Like I remember being in the kitchen with my mom or my aunt and my grandma making lasagna or making, Polish food. Yeah. The Christmas, she would make homemade pierogies, my grandma and my aunt. And then my grandpa, he would, make his own kibasi, smoke it in the ground. So it was always something that was in my life. And I think because I was brought up with it, it really brought joy to me. Right. There's just a joy of cooking. As long as you enjoy it, anything there's a joy. But I like the fact that it's something that we do as a family when they're home, which isn't often. But when they're home, we do it together. Sounds good. All right, so Trish, tell us how to make this amazing, delicious meal you got here. All righty. Well, first of all, you want to start with sausage. If you're lucky enough to find the sausage out of the casing, it's your lucky day. Because there are days where I walk into ShopRite and I'm like, it is in the casing, got to take it out. But it's not the end of the world. So basically it's very simple. You just take the knife and you cut it and you open it and you take the sausage out of the casing, like so. But again, like I said, if you're lucky enough to find that sausage out of the casing, I dance in the store when I see that because I just get so excited. It's one less step I have to do. In the store? I do. People know me in ShopRite. They're like, there she is. I was the only one to dance in ShopRite. They're like, there she is, the dancing girl. She found her sausage not in the casing. So it's just very simple. So you're basically going to take the sausage out of the casing like so. And as you can see, it would be easier if you didn't have to deal with casing. And you'll be my assistant. Awesome. Thanks. Here, keep it open actually. We got one more. Great. All right, so we got the sausage out of the casing. You don't want to use the casing because it'll be too chewy and too yucky. So what you want to do is you kind of want to just mix it up, okay? So it's not going to be chunky.
It's kind of like you're kneading bread.
It is
almost, right?
exactly.
So
I'm kneading
sort of
the
concept.
Yes, kneading the sausage because you don't want it to be chunky. So you got your nice little ball of sausage here. Wow. And I'm going to go over here, and in this pot, in this frying pan over here, I have some olive oil, which I got nice and hot, or not. It will be nice and hot in a moment. And you're going to want to get this really, 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 really like well done, like almost burnt. So I should have turned that up higher while I was taking it out of the casing, but I forgot. But that's okay. It'll still come out good. All right, so that's going to just sit there for a moment. So now what I did is I'm going to cut that part of the broccoli rabe off. Okay.
So are you throwing this away?
Yes, that gets thrown away.
In my house, we eat all that stuff.
What do you do with it?
We steam it and we just eat everything.
Really?
Yeah. But you know what? I'm going to go, since I'm in Trish's house today, I'm going to go with Trish's
So I just snap the broccoli rabe like so. And like you hear the sausage over there, so I'm not really concerned because the more cooked it is and the more burnt it is, the better it is.
That's awesome.
Because that's everybody's complaint when they order it in a restaurant when it's soggy.
Yeah.
You don't want soggy sausage.
Yeah. No.
Definitely
nothing
don't
like
want soggy sausage.
sausage.
I do feel like this is such a waste with all these leaves. But
we're going to figure out a recipe. Maybe somebody out there knows how to cook this as well.
I don't know. I mean, I do use a little bit of the leaves for my dish. I just don't use a whole lot of the leaves for my dish. I know my friend always yells at me that I do waste all that, but I don't want a leafy meal.
Yeah, no.
And what's great about this meal is now that the sausage is getting cooked and getting all brown and getting all ready, I'm going to wait a few minutes and then I'll add the rest of the broccoli rabe into the water. So this way, as the sausage is cooking, I'm going to blanch the broccoli rabe for a moment. And this, guys, is literally seconds to make. And you really want to get it nice and cooked all the way through before you add any of the other ingredients because you do want it to get nice and brown and toasty. Nice. So we're going to wait on that sausage for a few minutes, and then we will add the broccoli rabe to the boiling water. And again, another beauty part of this is that you're going to use the same water that's boiling that you use the broccoli rabe in. Beautiful. So you're not dirtying another pot.
Yes.
So you're going to blanch the broccoli rabe. We're going to put it in the pan with the sausage and all the other ingredients because we have 2 more ingredients going in there. And there's only 2 pots you're dirtying. You're making dirty.
Very efficient.
Very efficient.
Very efficient. So you were saying as well, all your family members basically cook. Your daughters, your son, your husband, right? He cooks. And it sounds like, from your background, it prepared you to come into this big, amazing Italian family because, where all meals are, meals and just a family meal is the central focus of everything. And it sounded like you just jumped right in and just kind of, didn't miss a beat.
Well, it's the heart of the family. The kitchen is the heart of the family. Yeah. It's so important to have family dinners. I mean, I'm sad because my older daughter's moved out. My son has moved out. So I have one child left still in the house, my 21-year-old. And my husband, her, and myself sit at the table, and there's 3 of us. I'm like, I need 20.
I've got a family of 3. We can come over here.
You're more than welcome. So you see how the sausage is getting so nice and brown? Okay. So this is what we want the sausage to look like. See how it's nice and brown and toasty? So you know how I said I didn't use a recipe?
Right.
This is the trick here, and you have to pay attention because I don't sit here and count out like 10 or 5 or 12 garlic cloves. I kind of just put it in my little handy dandy chopper that I've had forever. It's like my favorite tool. And I just grind it. I grind it just like that. And again, I don't count. I kind of just go off of the amount that I think I'm going to need. And if I need more, I'll always just go back and add a little bit more to it.
So garlic is always good.
Garlic is good as long as we're all eating it together.
That's right.
Alrighty, so now I'm going to add the garlic. Again, I did not measure. I don't know how many I'm putting in there, but I'm going to just kind of put it right here in the center. And I'm going to scoop out that garlic just like so.
You can never go wrong with garlic.
Oh, never, right? Never, ever. So the garlic is in there now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it kind of just sit in the center there for a minute, because I want to be able to get it where it's going to cook. And I'm going to turn up my heat again just a little bit. And as that's happening with the garlic, what I'm going to do in just a few minutes is I'm going to add, Trevor, can you hand me that white wine there?
What? White wine?
White wine.
Whoa.
So I did measure this a little bit because I don't want to put too much. So I think I have like a cup here, a cup of white wine. And any cooking wine will do, but it has to be white. It doesn't have to be anything expensive. So I'm going to just add that to here. As soon as the garlic gets a little bit more.
So why does it have to be white?
In this particular recipe, because red wouldn't taste good. You could do reds when you do, like I do a red wine when I make lamb chops. I don't know, I just like white wine in this recipe.
It probably tastes better too as well.
It does. So you don't want to add it too quickly, because I've had it in the past where I've added it way too quickly and I got a poof of a fire.
Okay.
It's very exciting to see.
I'm sure.
But I don't want to start the camera on fire.
Not for today.
Like I have burn marks up here. I have burn marks on my hands. I have some, what do they call those? Wounds? Cooking wounds? Okay, so I'm going to add the wine, and I'm going to let that just saute, and I'm going to bring that to a boil, because you want to have it, reduce it to a little bit. So that's going to just sit there for a bit.
That smells so good.
Oh my God, if there was only smell-o-vision.
Smell-o-vision.
Smell-o-vision. Smell-o-vision.
That's probably coming pretty soon.
I know.
Sure.
So we're going to let that just sit for just a bit. I'm going to add the broccoli rabe to the boiling water in just a few moments. So let me see that. So now I have all the broccoli rabe all nice and...
Minus the stems. We're going to figure out in another show how to cook the stems.
Yes.
You know, but this is really good.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the moment that the broccoli rabe goes into the fire, right?
It's going to take a bath.
It's going to take a bath. All right. So
we're just going to blanch it just a little bit, because you don't want it. Remember I said before, restaurants make it soggy.
Right.
So we're just going to blanch it for just a few minutes.
Excellent.
And please, if you're like me, please remember to use that pot holder when taking off the lid, because there's been many times where I forgot. So we're just going to put it in the water real fast like this, and the water's been already boiling. I've had it prepping. I think you probably had seen the water and the steam coming the whole time, because that's another thing. It's going to be only a 2-pot meal. Like how amazing is that, right?
So how long is that going to be blanched for?
Again, I'm not a recipe maker follower, but I'm going to leave it in here probably for about 5 minutes, if that. Because don't forget, it's going to continue to cook in with the sausage and the wine. And very important, do not add salt to this dish. Because what happens is the sausage is salty, the water is salted already that I have the broccoli in, broccoli rabe, and then the pasta is actually going to go in the same water. Like I'm not going to drain this. I'm going to keep it boiling, and I'm going to add, what is it called? Orchette.
Orchette.
So we're going to add the orchette right to the water that's already boiling. We lost the boil because I added the broccoli rabe. So as soon as this comes back up to a little bit of a boil, I'm going to just not drain it, right? Just going to take the broccoli rabe, and I'm going to just place it right inside the pot with the sausage. Just going to check on my sausage over here. And, oh my God, this is going to be so amazing. It is like so nice and toasted. Delish.
Delish.
Delish. So this is going to be a little bit like 5 minutes or so. Depends. If I see it getting wilty, I pull it out out quicker, just because I don't want it to get mushy.
There you go. Trish, I sense either a restaurant coming on or a book.
Oh my God, a restaurant is my dream, but my husband says I'm crazy. And
no, you're not crazy. You're going to do it.
If I win the lottery, that's what I'm doing with winnings of my lotteries. I'm opening up a restaurant.
You're doing it every Sunday.
Yeah.
And every day, I should say.
I do it every day. I do.
Wow. So what, like if you did have a restaurant, what sort of meals would you do? I know you do a lot of Italian. Is there like some other things you would think of doing?
Whatever. I'm open to,
kinda...
as long as, I'm open to cooking anything. Again, I kind of just put my own flair on things. I was telling Lori before you got here about these, or I think I was telling you as well, these rice balls that I make.
That's right.
Yeah, and instead of using rice, because we're trying to be health conscious, I used cauliflower rice. And my family loved it. Like even my husband was like bragging about me last night about my rice, what are they called? Cauliflower. The cauliflower balls. And I'm like, wow, you really like them. You're talking about me. So yeah, he actually really enjoyed them.
So now we're doing a lot of Italian here, and your Polish background. What are some of the great Polish meals that you remember growing up on that mom used to make, and grandma or whomever?
Definitely pierogies.
Pierogies. Love those.
I love pierogies.
Yeah.
I love kibasi.
Now, how do you pronounce it?
Pierogies.
Pierogies.
I'm probably putting an Italian spin on it.
But I like pierogies. Okay.
Pierogi or pierogi. Or if you ask my mom from Pennsylvania, it's probably pierogi.
Now, have you tried the pierogies from ShopRite? Because you just mentioned you
Sally T's.
Okay, so it's not too bad.
No, they're not bad.
Not as good as
my
yours.
mom does make
them.
them.
Not as good as yours.
My mom will make them.
Yeah.
I don't make pierogies. My husband's really not a fan. He'll rather have a ravioli.
Come on, man. What's up with this?
I know.
You know?
I love Chris Chickies.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a Chris Chickie?
What is that?
It's a fried cookie. It's a cookie.
Oh, wow.
And it's like shaped like a bow.
No, I never have.
Those are very good. Wow. So, I mean, there are... I've lost a lot of my Polish heritage as far as food, but my mom, she'll still make it from time to time. She also makes, I don't know the name, stuffed cabbage. I think those are Polish.
Delicious.
I think they're, or they might not be Polish.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it was something I had as a child growing up.
Very
She
good,
made those
though.
all the time.
Very good, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So, I mean, I could pretty much make anything. Like one night we had matzo ball soup, potato pancakes, and there was an Italian thing in there because I remember my kids like making an Instagram thing with like an Italian flag and a Polish flag, and we all kind of came together.
There you go.
So I don't remember what the Italian products that I made that night, but we did have. I think it was like pierogies and something else, and of course there was an Italian. So it was like an Italian-Polish meal night.
Right. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So you know what? I always like to say on these shows that if every culture sat down together and had a meal from each other's culture, the world would be a different place, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Because I think that food really, is a commonality, and we realize we're much more alike than we are different, right?
Yeah.
So it's exciting. Now, you mentioned salt. Is there a particular type of salt that you use? Because I know, I heard something on TV the other day. They were saying that pink salt is actually better than regular salt because it's got a little more health.
Well, that's the Himalayan sea salt,
Mm-hmm.
which I haven't used it yet because I don't know. I just have to do it when nobody else is eating anything, and I can make sure it works. But I personally use sea salt.
Yes, I heard it's much better for you, actually.
It's underneath, but I use Mediterranean sea salt.
Okay.
So, and this is from Costco.
Yeah,
It's great.
amazing. Yeah.
Or I use the other one in the black box. I don't know what it's called, but it's under there. Can't get to it. But I like to use a sea salt as opposed to a regular grinded salt.
So cool.
I'm going to put the broccoli rabe. Again, I'm not straining it. And I think, and it's okay if you make a mess. It's only water, right? It's only water. Because I don't want to touch this pot because it's very, very hot.
You know what I love about you is that it's great that all of your kids got the joy of cooking. Sounds like everybody just kind of jumped in there and everybody learned something.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing.
And my dog even loves my cooking because he's very jealous that I'm not sitting over there with him right now.
Oh.
Okay, so now that I took the broccoli rabe out of there, there's still going to be some floaters, which is fine.
Okay.
There's going to be some floaters. At this point now, the water is going to come back to a boil. It's almost there. I'm going to add the...
Orchetta.
Orchette.
Okay.
You were so close.
Yes.
Orchette, but you can say it any way you want, right?
You know what?
Just don't call you late for dinner.
There you go. So I got to tell you, I have a daughter that just loves the Italian language, and she comes. I come home and she is reciting, you know, Italian soliloquies for me, and I don't know where she learned all that, but she's very excited about languages, and it's, you know.
Well,
so.
you know what? I should be really embarrassed because I'm with my husband since 1985. We met on the Garden State Parkway sitting in traffic.
That's an interesting story.
It's another show. So I met Frank sitting in traffic coming home Memorial Day weekend, and I'm with him since 1985, right? And his family, his parents only spoke Italian. I never learned the language, and I'm so upset that I didn't, and I don't understand a word. Now, my daughter went to Rome to study abroad. I thought maybe she'd come home to teach me some Italian, and I went to visit her for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Oh.
No, because in Italy, their second language is English. So now the younger generation are speaking English, not so much Italian in Italy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You obviously convinced the parents that you couldn't speak Italian, but you spoke the language of good food.
So we're going to add, now that the water came back to a boil, I took out the broccoli rabe, I threw it in with the sausage, and that's all getting happy together.
Okay, orchette. Let's put in the orchette.
We're putting in the orchette. There you go. You got it.
Got it.
So, I mean, if some of the bigger ones do roll up, I will throw them in here. But if you don't get them out, it's not a big deal. So I'm going to add a box. Depends on how many you're cooking for. You add a box of orchette into the water as so. And I'm going to get a spoon. And I'm going to mix it. I'm actually going to add a little bit more pasta. Can you hand me that box, Trevor?
Absolutely.
Because I'm going to send, after
Orchette,
this dish home with these fabulous people that are in my home.
Yes.
So they can share it with their family, even though we're going to have some here tonight. So I'm going to do a box and a half, just so I still have to feed my family when they get home. Because as we saw, Christina's excited to come home from working out and have some pasta. She won't. Yeah. So that's it, guys. How simple is this meal? Like so simple, right?
Yep. Yeah, orchette, broccoli rabe,
and sausage,
right?
And literally
it's awesome.
Takes minutes to make. So instead of like dreading coming home to have to make dinner, this is like a 1, 2, 3 punch. You're done.
You know what? We are so grateful that you opened up your home and showed us this amazing meal. And as you said, you know, you're busy. You know, we all have busy lifestyles, and this is a pretty good meal to make under an hour. Correct?
Oh gosh, literally, the longest part is waiting for the water to boil. But when that's happening, you're prepping everything else, so you're not really paying much attention to the water taking a boil.
Right.
So really, and if you're not lucky enough to find that sausage out of the casing, that takes the longest part because you got to take it out. So less than 45 minutes. So it's under an hour.
Awesome. So we learned here today just, you know, family, love, togetherness, right? Sunday dinners is something I stress at home, but definitely having that time together because, you know, in this day and age with all the technology that we have, right? We don't spend as much time, right, together as we should.
Exactly.
Spend more time on Facebook and you know, these sort of social messages.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of which, at dinner time, there's no
that's a good rule.
Electronics at the table. Every once in a while, I'll maybe let it slide. But when they were little, like nowadays we go to restaurants and all you see is a child with a laptop in their hand or an iPad in their hand. And honestly, when my kids were little, they weren't allowed to have a Game Boy at the table, ever. If they did, it got thrown across the room or out in the yard into the woods, and it was gone.
Amazing.
Like, I said, but Frank, now you gotta go buy another one. Like, stop, like, pretend you're throwing it out the window. Don't really do it. Right? But it was a point that he had to prove. At a very young age, we'd be at restaurants, and my kids would see other people with their Game Boys, and we're like, no, this is our time. This is, we don't see you enough. You know, Daddy working a lot, I'm out of the house a lot. Dinner is so sacred.
Yes. Yeah, so it's awesome. So give us a little plug for your business again.
So we are Custom Stone by Frank. We're in Park Ridge. We've been there since 1994, and nobody knows we're there. People who live in Park Ridge, they're like, oh my God, how long have you been here? I'm like, since 1994. Because we're behind Dunkin' Donuts. So we're kind of off the beaten path on Kinder Kamak, behind B&M Meat Market. and behind the Dunkin' Donuts. So we're kind of like a little hidden gem.
So I'm going to be your first guest in your restaurant when it happens.
From your lips.
I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, because you're amazing in this. So thank you again.
Thank you again, and thank you so much for coming. I cannot wait for you to try it.
Oh, we can't wait either. All right, so want to introduce our co-host, Lori Fredrics. So Trish, you're going to show us how to make this great dessert, right?
Yes. Wonderful. Well, before we do, I want to just attest to Trish's amazing sauce, because I actually got to try a pot of it a little while ago, and I'm not going to call it gravy, but it is
good girl.
I've called it sauce, and it was really an experience.
And how'd you like the meatballs?
Oh my gosh, it was crazy. The whole thing, well, I call it the sauce, right? It had sausages, it had amazing meatballs, and it was all flavored amazingly. So yes, I've used that word too much, but it is apropos. All right, so this is a really quick dessert you can show me.
Well, the pasta's boiling. I'm like, all right, so I guess I should give a sweet.
Whoa!
And that's what happens when it
Pop that
sits out. It just popped right out. So I'm making, it's called a Nutella calzone, and what I'm using is simply pizza crust Pillsbury. So super simple. So you're going to open up the dough.
And since it's pizza crust, it goes with the Italian theme.
Absolutely.
Yes, I love it.
So you're going to kind of just spread it out, okay? And then I know for a fact everyone loves Nutella, right? Like
that's
Nutella.
kind of universal throughout many cultures.
It's like chocolate, nutty.
Who doesn't love chocolate?
Who
right?
doesn't love chocolate? So what you're going to do is you're going to spread the Nutella in here as so. So simple, so fast that while my pasta is boiling and getting ready, and don't forget you want the pasta to be al dente. You don't want soggy pasta. Nope. Not at all.
That would not be authentic, and everything's going to be authentic.
No. I've had brother-in-laws send back the pasta if it was cooked too much. Yeah, I've learned my lesson. Do not ever overcook the pasta.
It's pasta, it's not a noodle.
Exactly, yes. And you know what, it's weird because when the pasta's too soft, it loses its flavor. So when the pasta's hard, like has a harder texture to it, it has more flavor to it. Okay,
in
so
this case, it's called orecchiette. There you go.
Orecchiette.
So you take the Nutella and you spread it into the pizza dough, and all you do is you just spread it over like so.
Love it.
And there's a really, really super important part of this, and if you don't do it and you forget, you'll always go, shoot, I shouldn't have forgotten that part.
And what is that?
You need to pop a hole.
Oh, otherwise it's going to explode.
Because if you don't pop a hole, this thing will just go, and you will have a Nutella mess
there you go.
in your oven.
So you make a little hole in the top.
Make a little hole in the top, and you want to squeeze together the ends. You want to cook it, bake it in 400 just watch it until it gets brown, because I don't use a recipe, until it gets brown, and then you take it out. And I have one that's already done to show you all how amazing it looks, and it's over there.
That took a minute,
There
1 minute.
Not even.
Not even.
It's gonna pop in the oven for like
dessert in seconds.
maybe like in dinner in minutes.
Minutes. There you go.
I like that. Dessert in seconds, dinner in minutes.
I have the name of your book.
What is it?
I don't use a recipe.
There you go. So then, how do I write it? It would all have to be on video.
Well, there you go.
To show me what's the books that you listen to? Audio.
An audiobook. There you go.
Audiobook. But then again, I'm not telling them how much of what. So it'd have to be a video and watch.
Awesome. So thank you again.
Oh, thank you.
This is incredible.
Can't wait for you to sit down and enjoy
Oh my gosh,
the feast.
I'm so ready. I'm so ready.
You're going to join us?
Yes, I am coming. I just have to put this in here. Let me just get
Lori,
rid of
you gonna
my
join us too?
phone.
Yes, absolutely.
I cannot wait for you guys to try this. Like, I am
You
so
can't
over the moon excited for you all to try this yumminess. So when I drained the pasta, I took a little bit of the water and I put that in with the sausage and the broccoli rabe and the orecchiette. So this way it's not going to be dry. And I will serve you guys up. Cannot wait for you to try it.
And tell us about the antipasta and what that is in Italian culture.
It's always on a Sunday. You will always find fresh mozzarella on our table pretty much every night of the week, honestly.
Nice.
Because that's not really super fattening. And then these here are amazing. We have these in Florida when we go to Florida, and I've never found them here in New Jersey.
What are they?
They're these little tiny peppers, and they are, oh my God. So the other day, I was in King's, and they had them. I was so excited.
Wow, I'm going to show them to the camera.
I don't know what they're called. They start with a P.
Peppers?
It's like a
Tiny peppers.
It's like a pepper something, but we always get it at a restaurant we go to.
So good.
So good. And I wish my husband would have gotten home in time to eat with us.
So we did a show on peppers. That was a great show too as well.
Oh my God, those are amazing. And that's it.
Wow.
And we have some fresh bread and so many other Italian cheeses.
Chunks of Parmesan.
Yes, and then there's also grated cheese that you can put onto the dish as well.
It's so good. Wow.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna try. My family's gonna love this.
I'm gonna send some home with
They're
you.
gonna. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
It's so good.
Awesome.